All right, boom, we're live. Episode 91, MMA Complete Podcast. I think it's so fucking funny every time I look at that promo. We've had that promo up for like a good it hasn't been 2 years. Probably about a year though that we've had that MMA Complete promo. Whenever, let's see, Burns Usman was February of 2021. Ngannou Stipe was a little bit later than that, so I'm going to guess that happened maybe at the end of 2020. So that promo's been around for over a year, almost a year and a half now. Next week, we're actually going to be getting new promos. We just started branching out lately. We got a new logo. We've been improving the Twitter, and we are going to be starting on our own little business side of things. Website coming soon, LLC coming soon. We're going to get sponsorships. We're going to start doing memorabilia. So MMA Complete's growth that we've been talking about is starting to really take off. And by this time next week, hopefully we will have even more progress to talk about. Really excited about the website launch. That will happen soon. We will have more details for you next week on the podcast, and we will be announcing stuff on Twitter all the time. When we do have the website finished up, I want to do a giveaway to all of our fans that have been watching us and loyal to us over the last couple weeks. I should say, the new fans that have been coming the last couple weeks and the new viewers that we have been getting is great to see, but we want to do it for the people that have been watching us for over a year now. You know, the diehards, the people that have stuck with us through thick and thin, those are the guys that we really want to take care of and help out. So all that's coming up soon. We have the website, Twitter's growing. We're going to be starting to do some more stuff on social media, and the memorabilia is what I'm really interested in, because I can't wait to get my own MMA Complete sweatshirt, super soft, like one of those bulky little ones. That's what I'm thinking. And we're going to do a whole bunch of different, t-shirts, sweatpants, hats, bracelets. Maybe we can even do some like boxing gloves with MMA Complete on it. We can do different kind of fight stuff. Maybe a kicking bag with it on. So we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff like that, because I just found a new graphic designer that I like. And with that comes also new software. We obviously, like I said, the website's coming soon. We have new promos coming, new videos coming. We're going to start putting our faces out there more in the marketing and branding of MMA Complete. So we got that going for us. Mind me, I'm just getting over being sick for the last week. But yeah, we've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And we have been able to make a lot of progress and get things going. But over the next couple weeks, you're going to see what we really have been talking about and what we've been panning out, because it's finally everything's starting to come to fruition. We're starting to build a bigger fan base. And now is just the perfect time to come out with our own brand of MMA Complete podcast. We're not separating from Fans Only Sports. Fans Only Sports is still our platform, and it's a platform that I'm still, I do a bunch of stuff with Fans Only Sports right now. I love them to death. The best media company I've ever worked for, and they do a whole bunch of things. But MMA Complete podcast, what we've been able to do on Twitter and stuff like that, and the live reactions that we're going to do for 274, 275, 276 and on, we're going to start doing our own thing and seeing where that can take us. And I'm really excited for it. I know Austin is too. He's going to be joining me any second. He just had to get ready for the show, if you want to say that. And we have a pretty good show for you tonight. The episode is titled Mike Tyson's Airline Fight. And I'm going to wait for Austin to get here, because I think it's so funny what happened on Twitter. If you haven't been on Twitter yet today, go follow us first of all on Twitter, @complete_MMA. I'll wait until Austin gets here, but Mike Tyson's been all over MMA Twitter. He's just been all over Twitter today for something that he did, and I think it's hilarious. I'm gonna wait until Austin gets here to even talk about it, because I could say so many things, and it sounds like he might be getting here right now, which is perfect timing.
You okay?
Yeah, I am so much better than what I was, dude. I have like this little cough every now and then.
Nice.
Getting right into it. For this episode is titled Mike Tyson's Airline fight. So I want to talk about it. I think it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
There's a couple things we can talk about. So Mike Tyson got into, not a fight, but an altercation on this airplane. And I don't know if the two guys, the guy recording and the guy annoying him, were friends. But either way, across the aisle from the guy videotaping was a guy sitting behind Mike Tyson who was just pestering him. And there's three different angles that are all like 10 seconds long of him talking shit, and at one point he's like standing right behind him talking in his ear, talking shit. And then you see the one camera angle, 5 seconds, that Mike Tyson turns around and actually throws fucking punches at him. And then it cuts back to the regular camera angle where the guy has like 3 or 4 bruises on his face. What do you think about this whole thing?
I think the guy deserved it, dude. He was annoying the shit out of him. Pretty much it. I think he was annoying the shit out of him. Yeah, you get what you deserve. Like,
that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a couple interesting comments on this. One.
Plus, Mike Tyson didn't even punch him full blow, dude. Like, if he wanted to, you know what I mean? It's fucking Mike Tyson, bro. Why would you even fuck with him?
I think you make a great point.
Fame.
I think that Mike Tyson. Listen, if you're Mike Tyson, whether you barely tap somebody or whether you throw an uppercut with all your might, you're hitting somebody, you know? You can't really make that discretion when you're a boxer, especially when you're a boxer as well known as Mike Tyson. So he did hit him, he struck him, and he hit a guy who didn't hit him back. Who didn't hit him in the first place.
He's a pussy.
He didn't hit him in the first place. So, either way, I'm going to say it's wrong. I don't think Mike Tyson should have done it. Am I happy that he did it? Fuck yeah, I'm happy that he did it. Because you know the Chad dude that was sitting behind him annoying him was thinking this whole time, there's no way Mike Tyson's ever going to hit me for this. Like, Mike Tyson would never hit me for this. Which is why he was being such a douchebag.
Yeah, he was kind of intoxicated too.
Yeah.
Yes, he was drunk.
I think that you see this a lot nowadays. People just talk shit to talk shit and don't expect, to get hit.
Yeah, and Mike Tyson also said that in a post in like July 2020. He said that people talk shit but they don't expect to get hit. Exactly what you said. He said that exact post in 2020. Almost 2 years to the date.
Right, and I mean, good on him, because I know anybody else in the world that was in that situation, if they didn't get up and hit him, they would be thinking to themselves, I wish I would.
Where's the flight attendants? Where's the people on the plane? Like, where's the management on the plane? Like, that's who I blame more than, anything. Where's the security on the plane? Where's the what are these people doing? They filling up Coke bottles? Are they filling up fucking... Are they getting Kleenex for people?
I think that's another part of the whole camera angle. Like, the video we get's a choppy video, and it's 3 different scenes of about 10-15 seconds. And you never know what's happening in between that. They could stop the film because the flight attendants come in and tell them not to. Tell them to shut up. I'm always going to be the kind of person that's like the...
I just want to know where these people
doubter. Like, I'm going to look...
Well, that's bias.
It totally is. I'm going to look at the what ifs could have happened and just think that probably happened, because if that didn't happen, then this would have happened. So I would think that the flight attendants were doing their job. Do I think it's likely that they weren't? Sure. I mean, it's Mike Tyson, so they're in first class. I also think that video got out very soon after that whole thing happened, so I don't think it was edited that much. So it's not like, there was flight attendants coming into the shot and he like edited it out. I don't think that happened.
You can edit it. You can edit a iPhone video pretty fast.
All right. Well, I wouldn't know that, so that makes sense. And if they did, like, and so the other thing I wanted to say about it is, So Mike Tyson's gonna get sued. He's gonna get sued a lot. Like, I get, in a way, do you want to say he deserves it? Sure. He deserves it in the way that Chris Rock deserved to get slapped.
Depends if he said anything racist too. I think too. Like he did. Like
well, the things that he got
peasants.
on camera, and I don't know if there's cameras and microphones on the plane that could pick up other stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But in the camera angle that's on Twitter, he didn't say anything racist. But either way, even if he said something racist, you can't. Mike Tyson's hands are legally weapons. You know, you can't hit someone. So, he's gonna get sued, which sucks.
Maybe.
And I feel,
maybe he won't.
And I feel bad for him because
No,
most
he don't
other
give a
people.
fuck, dude.
Oh no, I'm sure he could spare a couple bucks. I'm not saying he can't.
I don't think he has that much money, but he
Oh, I
definitely-
do. I think he's
Dude,
definitely still loaded.
He's not. You don't have as much money as he should. You
No,
don't have
definitely
a lot of
not.
money.
But he's still a multi-millionaire.
Maybe.
Let's go ahead and I think it's a safe assumption to say he still is. Like back in his heyday, even when he got out of jail.
I'm not
he
saying
was
he's
still
not a
worth, like-
multimillionaire, but the guy should be worth fucking hundreds of millions of dollars, bro. The guy's just gotten robbed his whole career.
Right.
Like the guy, he should have been a billionaire. The guy was fighting like 4 times a year, dude. 3 times a year. 6 times in a year.
Not only that, but he
Defending the
was the most
belt.
marketed heavyweight champion in 50 years. So, there's no question he should have been worth a lot more, and that he's probably spent it. He's done a bunch
Where's
of
the
different
picture?
things. He hasn't been in. The picture's actually behind that trash can. I didn't
Oh,
even
wow.
think to fucking grab it. You want to grab it?
No, but yeah,
Okay.
Don King's a fucking loser. He's an evil, manipulative manager
Mhm.
who just steals money from boxing fighters. Guy's a crook,
Mm-hmm.
a murderer too.
Such a tragedy about Cuss. Imagine if Cuss would have stayed alive, what Mike Tyson could have
Even
fucking
for
accomplished.
5 more years, I think it would have drastically changed. 5 years is kind of a lot, but
Right.
he was so young and
Yeah, I want to say Tyson was 23 or 24
He got
when
the
Cuss
best
died.
boxer and best coach of all time, and you got this loser Don King that just fucks it all up, and he still became the best, probably the most dominant heavyweight of all time. Like there was a time in Mike Tyson's career nobody could beat
If you
him,
want
I
to talk
don't
about
think.
peak dominance, I would say, and I can't really
Nobody could touch Mike Tyson.
listen.
bro.
You want to go back to like 1910s and talk about Joe Louis. You want to go to the 60s and talk about Muhammad Ali. Yeah, you could make an argument for it. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, peak dominance, nobody was fucking touching Mike Tyson. He was
Nobody.
knocking everybody out
He
in
would
the
have
first
knocked
2 rounds.
Muhammad Ali out, and that's no cap. He would have knocked him out. He would have knocked any of those guys.
That's a fucking that's a war.
At
The
20
clash
years
of the
old.
generations.
Yeah, 20
Muhammad
years
Ali
old.
versus Tyson. You know,
Youngest-
Tyson consistently says that Muhammad Ali is the greatest athlete ever.
Yeah, I probably do Walt Chamberlain or Bill Russell, one of those.
I wouldn't go that far. I think that they
Dude, the guy
are
was winning
still.
the high jump.
I think they're still amazing athletes, but I think that they were playing in a time that, let's face it, like 80% of the NBA was 6'2" white guys. And yeah.
No,
and
yeah,
like,
that was just a tweet.
but when
Someone's
you want
gotta
to
do
talk
it.
about greatest athletes of all times, as far as boxers go, like Tyson's up there, Ali's up there, Joe Frazier's up there, Pernell Whittaker, Floyd is maybe the best athlete of all time as a boxer. I would probably say Floyd is, just for his head movement and his skill and his quickness. You know, he didn't have the power, but he had every other thing. He had defense. He had 50 professional fights, and he got hit like 40 times in the last 20 fights that he had.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to the Tyson Airline fight that actually happened. So, and you go to the last camera angle of that video, where the guy like turns his head to the camera and shows the couple bruises that he has on the right side of his forehead. Tyson's not in that seat anymore, so it's clear that Tyson was moved from his seat, as obviously it should happen. I haven't heard anything about if he's been arrested yet or anything like that. I would assume that he was. You can't just hit someone on an airplane and not get arrested. But, depending on where the flight was going, if it was like an international flight or not, could be murky waters getting arrested in another country. But if it's over, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on it. This only happened this morning, so news is still going to be flooding out for the next couple of days. I just thought it was super interesting that this happened on a podcast day, and as soon as it happened, I was like, yes, that's a title.
Yeah.
So, some other stuff that we can talk about today. I wanted to talk about UFC 274. The fight nights that are coming up these next 2 weekends are somewhat lacking in star power, as the fight nights have been over the last couple months. Fight nights really haven't been star-studded at all. You got like 2 fights, maybe 3, and then nothing else. But a big cancellation that just happened a couple hours ago is Manel Kape backed out of his fight against Sue Monterrey.
Yeah, a
and
lot
so
of
this is like 3 cancellations on the pod, not the pod bet, but the bets that we put in 2 weeks ago. There's like nobody left. Because we had Romanov versus Bozer. Bozer's out.
Yeah.
We had Kape versus Mudrjai. Kape's out.
Isn't Romanov fighting someone else?
Chase Sherman.
It is Chase Sherman? No.
Chase Sherman, the man who has been fired by the UFC like 7 times, but just keeps getting back in to fight these really good fighters on short notice and get fucked up. I think it's hilarious. I also think that it's interesting to look at too, because if Sherman is really on his last gasp effort, he's going to maybe try to make a push for the last fight.
Yeah, man, he's about to get killed.
Yeah.
He's like minus 1,400, I think.
I didn't see him on the sportsbook unless it just came out today.
Oh no, I thought I saw this tweet about it from somebody. I don't know. It's probably been by knockout. Romanov by knockout.
Yeah, I would definitely take him by knockout. First round.
It's gotta be like minus 200 though.
That's fine.
You can bet on which round too. Second round.
Another cancellation that happened that I am very sorry to see is that Robert Whittaker got hurt, and he's out of his matchup between himself and Marvin Vettori at UFC 275.
Yo, Bellator, what the fuck is going on in Bellator, bro? Like, they're having fights like every day. They're like having a tournament.
I didn't see what the fight card was that's happening tonight. But I do know that they've been having a bunch of extra fight cards, which is kind of weird.
Kind of like a UFC fight week, but
yeah,
no.
And it's surprising to me for the fact that, like, UFC gets a lot of buzz during International Fight Week because they have 3 or 4 events. They usually have 3 events in that week. They have like one on Saturday, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. Yeah. And for some reason, I would think that Bellator would be part of it because it's International Fight Week. It's not just UFC Fight Week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe because everybody's going to be paying attention to the UFC, the Bellator is going to try to do like their own little fight week going on right now. Yeah. Couldn't tell you, but I did hear that they're having extra events. Good for them, because their last pay-per-view last weekend was underwhelming as fuck, but it actually sold really well. Like, everybody heard about it, and it was one of their biggest pay-per-view sales of all time.
Yeah.
The reason it was underwhelming, and I thought we actually bet on these, I think. I'm pretty sure. I definitely did. I'm pretty sure you put some on this too. But the light heavyweight championship and the featherweight championship were both on the line, and they were both very, very controversial. So, light heavyweight championship between Vadim Nemkov, the longtime light heavyweight champion, and Cory Anderson went into the 4th round, and Cory Anderson was fucking up Nemkov. Just fucking him up. Cory Anderson, former UFC superstar. Not really superstar, but he was top 5 at one point.
Yeah, I remember him.
And then he got his first loss, and Dana cut him because he wasn't selling. But he was a great fighter, but he just wasn't selling. Goes to Bellator. I think he lost like his first fight on a fluke, and then he's won like 7 since. and he challenges for the title, beating up Nemkov, and he headbutts him on the ground.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that bad of a headbutt. Like, it didn't look that bad, but Nemkov wouldn't continue.
I heard that when he headbutted him, it opened up a cut on Nemkov's forehead. Like, it opened up a big gash, so... And, I heard he got concussed and he was rushed to the hospital. So it sounds to me like, yeah, maybe it's kind of...
That totally could be true. I didn't hear anything about it. I just saw what had actually happened, and it didn't look that bad. But then again, a headbutt's a headbutt. So whether it was or not, the fight got stopped, and it
No
sucks
contest.
to see. Bellator even put, not on their rankings, but Bellator has say in the world rankings. That's when you can look at like UFC, Bellator 1, all the fighters ranked, and obviously it's mostly UFC fighters, but Bellator 1 get a couple. And Cory Anderson's above Nemkov now. Like, Nemkov's still the champion, but Anderson's above him, which is rightfully so, because he was on his way to being up 4 rounds to none. So that fight was no contest.
AJ McKee got upsetted, and he couldn't believe that he lost.
AJ McKee was
shook.
18-0.
Shook.
Featherweight champ, just coming off a win against Patricio Freire, who's Patricio Pitbull. And they ran it back in a 5-round fight. In the first fight, McKee rear naked choked him in 2 minutes. He didn't put him out, but Freire tapped. And Freire already, at that time, was a 3-time champion already. Like, he wins the belt, loses the belt, wins the belt, loses the belt, wins the belt. Puts him out in 2 minutes, and then proceeds to come back in the rematch and have the fight of his fucking life. Did you watch this fight?
No.
It was a really, really good fight.
Yeah.
McKee was getting his legs chopped the entire time, but he has these, like, spinning side body kicks that are super effective, and he knocked down Pitbull at one point in the 3rd round with a really, really hard kick. But Freire was just like standing in the pocket, being patient, putting on shots, landing more shots. And McKee I don't think he said anything that he thinks he should have won, but the shocked look on his face after he lost was totally not right. Like, Pitbull beat him, for sure.
Yeah.
4 rounds to 1.
Okay.
And Pitbull is now the featherweight champ again, 4-time champion. I think it's the only time that someone's ever been a 4-time champion in a single organization. So 2 really interesting fights. I had Nemkov and McKee, so neither of those hit, even though the no contest is a push anyway, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, that was Bellator 277. It was a really good card. And who is the fucking third guy? AJ Pero or some shit like that. One of their young prospects is a lightweight, and he had like a 30-second knockout in the first round. So he's probably gonna get a title shot soon too. Bellator is picking up a lot of steam.
Wow.
Bellator is full of some fucking animals, and they're doing really well to promote themselves nowadays. They're gonna be on the map. UFC's gonna have some issues, especially if they, lose out on these fighters like Cory Anderson. None of the other guys that we mentioned have been in the UFC, but Cory Anderson was a huge get for Bellator. Just like Yoel Romero, Phil Davis, who's all in that light heavyweight division. That's so strong in Bellator.
Yeah, I feel like people still want to fight in the UFC, though. The
For
UFC
sure.
just has better promotion.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to make more money in the UFC.
Yeah. Depending if Bellator starts making a lot of money, then, promote your fighters better.
Right. All right, so last week, Bilal Muhammad beat Vicente Luque in a 5-round snooze fest.
Dominate him. Luque couldn't do anything.
Luque actually got like 2 takedowns. Muhammad didn't go for any. Or no, Muhammad got 2 takedowns. Luque didn't go for any. Muhammad did really good work on the ground.
Yeah.
And Luque did decent work standing. So I can't call welterweight fights anymore because I said the exact opposite. I said Muhammad was going to keep the fight standing and fuck up Luque, and Luque was going to try to get it to the ground the entire time. Muhammad won in Luque's game, which I think is super impressive. Do I think the fight was impressive? No. I think Muhammad is a boring fighter in a style that works. Good on him. You know, if the name broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'm not busting my ass to try to go watch Bilal Muhammad fight next time. But nonetheless, he's now the number 4 ranked fighter in the welterweight division. Welterweight division is, dare I say, becoming more and more overrated by the second.
You think so?
I do. You know, you got Usman, Colby, Khamzat, and Gilbert Burns. That's a pretty strong top 4.
Pretty good.
After that, I'm not impressed with really anybody on the top 10. Like, you got number 5. Let's open this up, because I should have been sharing this the whole time. So, yeah, number 5, Luque. Number 6, Stephen Thompson. We haven't seen him forever, and he's lost his last 2.
Yeah,
Masvidal's on his way out too, kind of. Yeah. At least as far as the hype train goes.
Like, he could face Darren Till again.
Mm-hmm. Sean Brady's a really interesting prospect. He's still undefeated in the UFC, but we haven't seen him fight a top 10 guy. Neil Magny is one of those warriors that'll fight anybody, but he doesn't sell a lot. You're not too excited to see him.
Yeah,
Though
he's ranked far down.
His fight against Shavkat Rakhmonov coming up at Fight Night.
Neil Magny, get
June
ready.
25th.
This is the last time you're gonna be on that ranking, so.
Ah man, listen, I've been a huge Rakhmonov fan. I've been a huge Rakhmonov fan.
Dude, yeah, he's fucking good.
I think Neil Magny has a chance to beat him. I think that line is going to be really high for Rakhmonov. I think he's probably going to open up at like minus 250.
Mm-hmm.
And if the line goes up even more, I'll probably put money on Magny.
Yeah, I want Rakhmonov versus Khamzat.
Yeah, I know you do.
That's going to be a really good fight. That's a really good fight. Well, depending, you know, this guy's kind of like unproven, hasn't really faced anybody yet, but he's a fucking killer, man.
He is.
And he walks into that ring with that hat on. Oh my god.
He's
Beast.
He's unproven, especially standing. Like, all of his fights, he brings it to the ground and either chokes him out or taps him out.
Mm.
So, he's a great wrestler, which is why the fight, even just a wrestling match with Chimaev makes sense. But if he gets in a boxing match with Magny, he's not going to do well. And we've seen Magny put up these wars that he can lose the first round and then win the next 2. You know, he has cardio for days.
Yeah.
And so, like I said about the welterweight division, I'm not impressed. Like, you got a great top 4, and they all sell. And by the way, a name I didn't even think about, a name in the top 5 is Leon Edwards. Not too impressed with Leon Edwards either. I know he's going to get the next shot for Usman. He's gonna.
Yeah.
But, like, do you see 7, 8 fighters that you really... Like, Li Jingliang's in the top 15. You know what I mean? Nothing against Li. Like, he is a good fighter. But I'm not impressed with this division anymore. Welterweight, like, 2 years ago, because of Usman and Covington and Masvidal and what they did, was the division.
Yeah, and that's really all, like, the fights that have been... You think about it, it's been... Kamara hasn't really faced anybody different. He's faced Masvidal and Colby.
In Burns.
In Burns, yeah. Which...
Those are his only title defenses.
Yeah, in a long time. Like, that division has
No, those are his only title defenses.
Yeah, that's a stagnant... That's not really a proven track record.
Right. Chimaev
there's holes in his games, man. Chimaev could win. Yo, I'm betting on Chimaev, bro. Maybe.
I'm not.
Maybe.
I'm going to bet on Usman versus
Now that
Chimaev.
I'm thinking of it...
You're never going to get a better number for Usman until when he fights Chimaev.
Yeah, true.
Because it's going to be like fucking even, dude. It's going to be about even. If Usman is the underdog against Chimaev,
He's not going to be the underdog. He's going to be like minus 160.
I think it's closer than that. I think it's like minus 120.
I don't know.
Oof.
I don't know.
I think that fight's a long time away, though. I think that fight happens next year. Because I think Usman versus Edwards is going to happen at the end of the summer. I think it's going to be like August, maybe even September.
Yeah.
His hand surgery that he had in February went well, but he's still got a bunch of time off to take. He's not gonna be ready for International Fight Week. And they're gonna fight. They're gonna book Usman versus Edwards first.
Yeah, and Usman wants to fight Edwards first.
Yeah, they fought like 7 years ago or something.
Yeah,
I want to say that's
Usman's easiest path right now.
I want to say that's Edwards' last loss is against Usman. So it's a pretty poetic matchup to make anyway. It does make sense, but
bro, Leon Edwards was such a big hype coming back, dude, and then he fought Nate Diaz.
He pieced up Nate Diaz.
He did piece him up. He did get pieced in the fourth round.
Fifth round.
I'm
Last
sorry.
minute. Fuck
Main
that
event.
bitch ass clinch.
And, he kind of, like, fizzled out. Like, the hype ain't really there anymore. That's why that division's kind of suffering, too, because there ain't really a lot of hype around anybody except for Kobe and Kamaev.
Mm-hmm.
And Kamaev's getting all the hype.
Exactly.
All the hype. Like, he needs to face Kobe or
I think Kamaev versus Kobe happens.
And Kobe don't want to take that fight.
It's funny that you say that. So, I think you're right.
Kobe
Now, I've been rethinking about this the other day. When I was sick, I had like the Monday that I was still kind of sick, but I was getting over it. I took a whole day to just watch UFC fights. Like, I watched so many fights from 2020, 2019, 2018.
Okay.
Covington versus Usman 2 might be my favorite fight I've ever watched. Like, Volkanovski-Ortega is up there, too.
Yeah.
That fight was amazing. But I gotta tell you, Colby is really, really becoming one of my favorite fighters ever.
He's good, man. He's really underrated, and
he
trash talk is trash. It kind of like
makes him look like a clown.
Kinda
makes him look
Conor.
like a joke.
Conor in the beginning of his career, dude. He could trash talk, and it kind of shadowed his skills. Like,
Right.
it kind of hit him.
Because you're just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go shut this punk up, and then you get in there and you're like, oh, this dude's fucking for real.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Kobe, and Kobe plays it really good. He's one of the best wrestlers in the UFC right now. He's top 3.
He
unquestionably
100%.
top 3. You know,
and not only that, but he
is in a tough division.
Not only is he one of the best wrestlers, the fact that he is one of the best wrestlers
At 170.
undervalues how great of a boxer he is.
Yeah.
He went 4 rounds boxing with Usman and won 2 of them.
Yeah.
In my opinion. You could say he definitely won 1. But, like, he can fucking box, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's not knocking no one out.
No, but he's point boxing. Like, he's landing more shots.
He's a decision fighter.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
Yeah, man, him versus Kamaev, I don't even know who to pick, man. That's harder to me than Usman Kamaev.
I don't think so, because the one thing that Kamaev has over everybody he's faced...
No, for me to pick. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who to pick.
I would say this. The one thing that Kamaev has that has been in his advantage so much so against everybody until he fights Usman is his strength advantage. He's going to have that against Colby. He's going to be stronger than Colby.
Yeah.
Wrestling, regular, just bicep, whatever wise, like, he's stronger. Which I think will be the one thing that Colby... It'll be the first time that Colby has not tried to wrestle at all in this fight. I don't think he tries to wrestle Kamaev at all. Which I think is going to fuck up his game plan. You know, that's part of Colby's game plan. He wants to rock you and then bring you to the ground.
No, you don't want to stand with Kamaev.
I think he does. I think he would stand with Kamaev. If you go 9
I just remember, hey, I watched that Gio Mearshart fight, dude. And, yo, he socked him. He socked
Gilbert Burns a couple times, too.
He socked him. Yeah, Gilbert Burns landed more, though.
100%. Mearshart's
they might
also,
need to run it back.
Mearshart's also, like, sorry, and just as far as UFC is concerned, because to us, obviously not, but as far as the UFC, Mearshart's a scrub. Like, he kind of is, and he's older, and he's taken a lot of damage, so he wasn't prepared for Kamaev.
Who do you pick, Burns or Kamaev, round to the second fight?
I'd pick Kamaev again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the first time he ever went 3 rounds. The next time he goes 3 rounds, he's going to be even better. And the next time he's going to be even better. I think Chimaev's still getting better.
Oh, no, he's definitely getting better, but it would be a good second fight. They should run it back.
I agree.
They can be a main event.
They could absolutely be a main
They
event.
would
Of
be
a
a main
pay-per-view? There would have
It's
to be some
questionable.
bad blood. There'd have to be some shit talking, I think, which I don't think they would do because they showed a lot of respect for each other after the fight.
Maybe co-main event.
I think Colby versus Chimaev could main event a pay-per-view easily.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think Colby would shit talk the fuck out of Chimaev.
Oh, yeah, and Chimaev's going to shit talk his
Yeah.
way, you know.
Brother, you're scared. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna smash you.
He just says the same shit, but he's
He
getting
does.
better at English. You know, he's trying.
Yeah, well, he's gonna have Darren Till talking shit to Colby, and that'll be even
Oh
better.
my God, Darren Till can't talk nothing to Kobe. Kobe would win that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's
would.
the same division, dude.
No,
Yeah.
Darren Till's middleweight.
He's a middleweight. Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, Chimaev could go to fucking middleweight.
Yeah, he could. There was the first thing I noticed when Marvin Vettori said he wanted a replacement fighter for Robert Whittaker. I tweeted at him. I was like, dude, call Chimaev. Like, if Chimaev could step up to middleweight, short notice, go against Vettori and beat him, then that dude gets whatever fight he
Bro.
wants.
Man.
I think Vettori versus Chimaev is a fucking war. Give it
Man.
5 rounds. Please give it 5
I don't know
rounds.
who would win. I'm gonna go to Chimaev. I ain't betting against this motherfucker.
Oh, Vittori's tough, dude.
I ain't betting against him.
Vettori has pretty good wrestling, too. Vettori fucked up Jack Hermanson wrestling in a UFC fight. Not as bad as Chimaev fucked up Hermanson wrestling, but you get the picture.
Yeah, good matchup.
Who?
Chimaev Vettori. It's a good matchup.
It is a good matchup. I'm definitely of the proponent that as far as
Are you
long
gonna
as
give
we're...
him a top 5 opponent first fight? Come on.
Who Chimaev? What?
You give him what's Vettori? Tamori.
Vettori's number 3 in the middleweight division right now. I want to
could
say
face,
it's Whittaker, Cannonier, Vettori.
Yeah. You could face a couple people. Be a good matchup. You can face anybody. Be a good matchup.
I think Colby versus Chimaev is the next fight to make. And what you said earlier is that, you know, Colby might not want to fight Chimaev is super interesting because this is right around the time that we would hear the fucking jibber jabber chattering of Colby talking shit about Chimaev. He hasn't said shit.
Maybe he wants to be friends with.
He has enough friends. Maybe his jaw still hurts from Jorge fucking punching him outside the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Remember that whole fucking thing?
Yeah, that's crazy. He probably can't fight for a little bit because that. He skipped court.
Jorge?
Yeah, he has a new hearing April 28th.
I saw that he has a new hearing. I didn't know it was because he skipped court.
I think because he didn't show or his lawyer went, he didn't go. I don't know. I can't believe he's really gonna press charges.
I'm not surprised.
Would
by
you
it.
press charges if someone sucker punched you when you're in a restaurant after you just fought him for 5 rounds?
Would I?
I probably would.
I mean maybe.
No. You do no. That guy can punch me in the face while I'm eating.
It wasn't in the restaurant. It was outside the restaurant. It was like he was leaving. He like paid for dinner, left, and as he was walking out in the restaurant, in the parking lot with his friends, as it all came out, sucker punched him.
Yeah.
Am I surprised that Colby did it though? Absolutely not. I get. You know what? Yeah, no. I would press charges because
You got a couple teeth knocked out.
Yeah.
You wouldn't press charges.
you're not just gonna let somebody.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man.
Listen, if you have no respect for me to the point that you're gonna come sucker punch me,
I guess I said I said I can't believe it because there was a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh no, he won't do it," and I kind of bought into that hype. That like, yeah, he won't
I
do
knew
it.
he was gonna do it right away.
And
That's a total Colby move. Like, of course he's gonna press charges.
Yeah. Well, you just debated it too. Yeah.
But I'm not Colby. I'm not the guy that's going to be putting up hype for Twitter. Like, he's the kind of guy to put it on Twitter that he's going to press charges before he actually presses charges. You know what I mean? He's that kind of dude.
Well, he didn't do that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he didn't do that.
Well, either way, I'm not surprised that he pressed charges. And now that I think about it, I would too. Because, yeah, you're going to come sucker punch me. Fuck it. Yeah,
After you just ate at a restaurant with your mom and whatever.
Dude, Kobe's the king of Miami. He can't let people be punching him on his home turf. You know what I mean? All right. UFC 274 is coming up May 7th. So we are 3 weeks away. We have 2 fight nights in between. This week is Andrade versus Lemos. Next week is Marlon Vera versus Rob Font.
I got Marlon Vera. I don't give a shit. Plus 135.
I've been saying Marlon Vera too.
Yeah.
That's a tight fight though. It's a really good fight. But for UFC 274, it's the Trevor Whitman show. You know, we see this every couple months. We see Justin Gaethje fight. We see Rose Namajunas. Gerald Meerschaert's fighting Krzysztof Jotko. That's a good fight. I got Jotko.
Oh yeah, and he's minus 170. I feel like that's a good number against Meerschaert. It's a good number.
Yeah, that honestly doesn't surprise me. I think Gerald Meerschaert is underrated now because of what happened with him and Kamaev. Meerschaert's not a bad fighter.
Andre Philly's fighting. Andre Arlovsky's fighting.
Yeah, Arlovsky's fighting Jake Collier.
Yep.
I think Arlovsky is going to push his win streak to 5. I think Arlovsky's going to win again. Arlovsky's making a fucking...
I think he's going to win too.
Late-time resurgence. He's 42 years old and he's kicking fucking ass.
Yeah, look at this 4-teamer. I kind of like this 4-teamer. It's not bad.
Andre Feely against that guy. Yeah.
I like Andre Feely.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a good number. I think that number is going to get pushed way up. I think it's going to be like minus 450, minus 400.
Marlon Vera's a fucking close fight. I don't know about that one, but other than that,
I'm going to take it. What do you mean? You just said you liked them.
I do too. I'm not going to bet on him though. That's a really close fight.
I'm going to fucking bet on him. I'm going to put 100 on that. 27? Fuck yeah.
So we've talked about Oliveira Gaethje a little bit already. We both have Oliveira. Depending on when the over-under comes out, I'm looking at that over-under 3.5. I'm looking at the under 3.5. If it's 2.5, which I expect it to be 2.5, I think that's what it'll probably be. That'll be close, but I still might even take the under 2.5.
Rowan off is minus 1,400.
Oh, that's funny.
Jordan Wright's fighting.
So what's our boy Sherman against Romanov?
Plus 800. No, it's not worth it. No, it's not.
It's not worth the fucking $5.
Nope.
Damn.
There's on Josh. Man, it's a good 7-teamer right now. Marc-Andre Barut. Yep. Plus 4,000. Yo, I'll take that. Plus 4,700. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What are we talking about now? Yo, Twitter be popping off.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter's popping off. Check us out. MMA Complete Twitter. Boom.
Boom. At complete _MMA up top, right up there. What was I gonna get at? I kind of just spaced out for a second. I just got congested over the last 5 minutes again. I don't know why. I was gonna talk about UFC 274 for a little bit. We got to get our pod bet ready. The last pod bet did not hit, unfortunately, and we got to get back on the winning streak because bets have not been rolling in lately.
No. And not everything, though. It's the bookie. It's the bookie.
So, we talked about UFC 274 pod bet a little bit. Oliveira we have versus Gaethje. Namajunas we have over Carlos Barza. I like the over in the Shogun Rua versus Ovince St. Preux fight. I like that over. Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lauzon is also a fight that I'm interested in seeing the numbers.
Donald Cerrone's winning.
Yeah, I think I want Donald Cerrone too. I want to look at the numbers first because I might want to take the over as well.
Right. They're not on there yet, but
Yeah, UFC 274 is not on there.
I can't wait until they are though, because honestly, you should probably put bets in right away.
Right.
Because the numbers will change, and then put bets in later too. You know.
And then Blagoy Ivanov is fighting Francisco de Lima, and I like Ivanov a lot in that too. So we already have
He's
a couple. Good. Yeah, he's a fringe top 15 heavyweight, who I think as soon as he wins this fight will be put back in the top 15 because he was like 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's easy to judge these heavyweights if they're good or not.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Aspinall being
heavyweight honestly is one of the easier divisions to pick. It depends. Like once you get up to the top 5, it's pretty fucking hard to figure out, but.
Yeah,
I think we've done pretty well at heavyweights, and we should definitely try to at least find who we like. We don't have to always go for the over/under. That over/under for Tuivasa Lewis was the fucking best sweat that we've ever had, but we should at least try to take one money line if we see a heavyweight fight that we know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had some crazy sweats. That under for Kevin Holland. Under 1.5, I think it was Kevin Holland.
Versus Alex Oliveira at Tico's.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And so the one fight at 274 that we haven't been able to make up our minds, I think we kind of have. I haven't. I know, like, Mike and Tico and Ethan and all them, I think everybody has. I'm probably the only one that hasn't.
Me?
I think you have too. Well, I started that. I said I think you have. Mike Chandler versus Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks Mike Chandler's going to win. Mike Chandler's going to open up as the favorite. He's probably going to be like minus 180. But, dude, I really want to say Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, I mean, he does only have one win versus Dan Hooker, but, I mean, Dan Hooker versus Tony Ferguson, that's a good fight.
That is a good fight. I think
Ferguson and Ferguson wins.
Yeah. But I always say the same thing.
Tony's been kind of stagnant, man. He hasn't fought, and
I always say the same thing when you look at Tony. Like, his last 3 fights are against 3 of the top 4 lightweights in the world. The champ, Oliveira, the number 1 contender, Gaethje, and the number 3 contender, Beneil Dariush. That is a great loss resume. Great. And those are also his only 3 losses in the UFC ever. They just happen to come in the last 3 fights, so everybody thinks he's out. He's gone. He's going to be out of UFC and after this fight.
Yeah.
And I don't. He's 36 years old. He still has a couple years in him if he wants. His jiu-jitsu is still one of the best in that division. And he's going against a guy, Mike Chandler, who hasn't beaten anybody. Like, you beat Dan Hooker, that's great, good for you. It was kind of a surprise win, too, because Hooker just wasn't ready for your power. As soon as you got rocked, he went down. And Ferguson's tough. Ferguson, I don't think, will go out by a big overhand by Chandler. Ferguson had his arm cranked like 270 degrees by Oliveira, and he had his foot cranked 270 degrees by Dariush, and he didn't tap either time.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't tap. Here's that Charles Oliveira was like, really? Okay.
And then he cranked it. And then he... Oh, God, that was so bad. Because he just had him in a regular arm bar, and then he fucking put it in his shoulder. Whew, that was tough.
It shows how good Oliveira is on the ground, man. He's gonna send Gaethje into a...
But he's gonna box with him. He's gonna box with Gaethje at first. It's gonna be a really good fight.
Maybe.
It's gonna be a really good fight.
He might box them. I don't think he's gonna.
I think he'll at least
he wants to go to the ground and I'd say I give him 3 minutes, and then he tries to go
that's
to
what
the
I would say.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna.
And once he gets
not shy away from it.
No,
because Oliveira's boxing's really good too. Like everybody always talks about him as a jiu-jitsu guy, but his boxing's really good.
It's good. I mean, I didn't expect him to knock out Michael Chandler.
I didn't expect him
to win the fight. I mean, the guy was just on the ground.
I didn't expect him to knock down Poirier, but he fucking sent Poirier to his knee from a straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like him. Definitely gained my respect. He's got 2
Oliveira
title
is
defenses.
your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. Like, he's that dude. He's miles ahead of people. And he's finally starting to get some respect, and good for him.
Yeah, 2 title defenses, right? Or 1?
2.
2, yeah.
One title defense. Dustin Poirier, that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
How many does Conor have?
Title defenses?
Yeah. None, right?
I don't think he has a single one. Could be wrong, because he beat Aldo in 14 seconds. And then I think after that he beat Alvarez for a champ. And then he went to box.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. He's only had 4 fights since he became champ.
Dude, he's riding that high because he
Khabib,
knows...
Cerrone, Poirier.
Yeah, because he knows, dude, that he wasn't going to make...
He knows that he's not on that level anymore.
No, he's not on the level. He knew that there was people coming up that were way better than him, and he don't really need to... He can fight once in a while.
You want to talk about lightning in a bottle, man.
Yeah.
Like, he made the fuck out.
Just because he has a good accent.
Yeah. All right. Last thing I want to talk about. It was all over Twitter a couple days ago. As soon as I saw it, I called cap because we've seen this so many times try to happen. But there's some more steam picking up over the last 2 days. I still don't think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen.
Just in case it does, I want to be ready for it.
September 9th.
No.
In September, it's going to happen.
You think it's going to happen? They're talking about having it in International Fight Week. They think it's going to be July 2nd.
I think that's too soon.
Right, I do too.
That's why I say September.
They
announce it in Fight Week.
It's right behind you. I don't know if you saw it earlier. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. And they're talking about doing it for the interim heavyweight title because Ngannou's going to be out until next year. What else can we say about it? I've talked about this matchup so many times over the last couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I think it's way too soon. I think a fight for either John Jones or Stipe to happen, it would need to have like a 2-month camp.
Man, John Jones is going to fuck him up, man. It's going to be a slaughter.
I don't think it's going to be a slaughter. I think it's going to be a really good fight. Nah.
John Jones is coming. He's itching. I'm betting the fucking deed on him.
John Jones has never felt the power of someone like Stipe, though. Even Daniel Cormier
Maybe
at 205.
Jared Cannonier.
He's never fought Cannonier.
Not Cannonier. What's the fucking... Was it Gasol? What's the guy that
Alves.
What's the guy that...
Dominic Reyes.
Yeah. Reyes. Dominic Reyes.
Reyes had the power. I would say Cormier has the most power of anybody he's fought. Oh, you know what? He fought Rampage and he fought Anthony Johnson. So those guys have fucking power. Actually, it's funny to see. Rampage was his first title defense ever. It was back in like 2011, 2012. And it's the only fight, if you watch, John Jones is running away from Rampage the entire time. Running the fuck away from him. Anytime Rampage like takes a swing, he's backing up and doing this the whole time. It's kind of funny to see now because you just wouldn't expect that from Jones. But he said like that fight gave him nightmares before the fight started because Rampage was just coming over from Pride where he knocked everybody out. So he has fought some power, but he's never fought anybody with power that's fucking 240 pounds.
Yeah.
And
I don't care. I'm still betting on him.
Oh, I am hammering John Jones. I don't care if I don't care if they say he has one hand tied behind his back for the fight.
Minus 200. You putting 10 units on him.
10 units?
To win 5 units.
Sure. Why not, right? It's easy money. He's going to win.
He's never lost.
Well.
No. He's never lost.
Did you see the fight, the tweet I had? If John Jones came back like 2013 John Jones, fucking prime John Jones, he would end his career 40 and Matt Hamill.
Telling you, he's gonna come back and he's gonna come back and he's not going anywhere for a little bit either.
Now, I agree with you.
Solid fight years.
I agree with you, except for the fact that what we saw from Francis Ngannou in his last fight and then realizing that he did that with like 2 torn legs. Ngannou has a chance to beat John Jones. He has a real chance to beat John Jones. I think if anybody's doing it, it's Ngannou. Because his wrestling is now at least very good.
Yeah, but not on the level of Jones.
No, nobody is though. But he's decent enough that he can handle himself on the ground.
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought. If that fight ever happened, I thought Jones would take him down right away, like Miocic did the first time, and fuck him up. And that's not going to happen.
No, I think John Jones could get him down though with leg kicks
I
or
do
something.
Too. But now that fucking Ngannou's wrestling is really good, and he has the power, and he's quick for being 260. He's not John Jones quick, but he's quick.
Yeah. He's quick with his hand.
That fight sells so fucking many pay-per-views. That is the biggest fight. If I could wish for any fight to happen between fighters on the active roster, it's John Jones and Ngannou. That's like, that is Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah, Henry Cejudo coming back too, dude. Like all these people coming back that. Yeah, maybe they can get their second wind and do something, and man, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's definitely a shake up to the divisions. You know, these people coming back that aren't even on there, and that were champions,
and John Jones has been training for heavyweight for over a year now. Over a year and a half.
Yeah.
So he's acclimated. You know, it's not like he's gonna kind of just be getting his feet ready in this division. Like he's been 245, 250 for a year now.
Yeah.
Like we saw Cody Garbrandt go to flyweight for the first time and get fucked up because he wasn't ready.
Yeah, Dan Hooker,
same thing. But those guys had taken 3 months, maybe 6 months to get used to the new division. Jones has been ready.
Yeah, he's not taking any risks. You know what I mean? Well, he is going to take risks, but he's not taking.
He's not taking any unwarranted risks.
Yeah, anything that's in his control.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's the goat.
He's the goat right now.
He can do whatever he wants.
Well. Yeah, he does think he can do whatever he wants, but he fucking can't. He can do whatever he wants inside the octagon.
That's what I mean.
But he thinks he can do anything he wants
period.
Outside the octagon, anywhere, especially in Vegas.
Right.
He thinks he is God in Vegas.
I wonder if Jones is going to say that.
He thinks he owns Vegas when he goes there. And he don't even own the paint on the pavement. He don't even own the gum.
Right. He still thinks it's 2015.
Yeah, he is. But damn, he can fight.
Wow, can he fight, dude?
He can fucking fight, man. He's good.
What happens when Jones fights Stipe and Jones knocks him out in the first round?
He's going to. I don't know if he knocks him out.
No, but what happens when he knocks him out in the first round?
He's going...
Spinning elbow collapses him.
I think it would be a head kick. And then he would elbow his nose in. But...
No one has ever thrown elbows like John Jones.
I do not see Stipe winning that fight in any shape, form. None of that. I don't see him... There's no... I can't envision it. How does Stipe win? No, he's got to knock him out.
They would be dirty boxing the whole time. I think Stipe could win on points.
On points, yeah.
Yeah, I think he could. It all depends on who sets the pace. All right, if John Jones gets in there and he's feeling out Stipe, it's gonna be a close fight. If Jones goes in there with a fucking agenda, aggressive, and just
he's going in there.
Throws shit at Stipe, he's fucking him up. Mm-hmm. You never know with a guy in his first time in a division. Is he going to be trying to get used to the power that Miocic is going to throw at him? You never know. Jones is smart, but is he going to try to overly be smart?
Yeah, it's weird. Like you think him fighting Miocic, it's like, oh, can Miocic can he knock him out when he fights him? And you think of John Jones, Ngannou, and you're like, oh, well, anybody could get knocked out by Ngannou. You know what I mean? So like, if he does touch John Jones, then yeah. He could knock him out, but Stipe, it's kind of like, he might not be able to, you know?
Right.
That's the difference. That's when I'm like, okay, well, this is 100% John Jones' fight.
John Jones.
Because you have to knock him out. You have to pound his face in when he's knocked out.
To my recollection, I'm pretty sure I've watched every John Jones fight. I don't think he's ever even been knocked down.
No.
He's been bloodied like 3 times.
Yeah, and when he can get tired, he can just put Ngannou in the fucking clinch, bro. Like, that's what I think he does. He doesn't have to take him down right away.
I don't know if he puts him in the clinch. Listen, when you get in the clinch, strength has a lot to do
against the cage. Like, against the cage. I'm not saying in the clinch.
I just gotta see. I gotta see what Jones looks like at 250, bro.
Yeah, like, how's he walking?
Like, his legs were so skinny in 205. They're still gonna be kind of skinny, but is he gonna be yoked? He's gonna be weighing in. He's going to be walking into the octagon like 45 pounds heavier than what he did at light heavyweight. Yeah. 45 pounds of muscle. On the goat.
Yeah, not having to cut weight.
Not having to cut weight at all.
Yeah, you know, we'll see. Hey, man, hopefully something gets signed and something gets done.
Oh, my God. I'm so ready for this. I really don't think it's going to happen in International Fight Week. I don't think the world deserves that much happiness. Or maybe it's just me.
September. October. That's my
Let me.
Kind of like the McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight, September.
Now, I think that the only other way that this fight happens is the only other way that John Jones signs the contract for this fight is if it's the main event of the pay-per-view.
Okay.
Right? Like, John Jones, I don't think will ever... Unless he loses 2 fights in a row or some shit, I don't think he will ever be the co-main event of a pay-per-view ever again. I don't see why he would. Like, honestly... Alright. Let me give you an example. This wouldn't happen because they would both make sure that they were main events. But, say the McGregor-Usman fight were to happen. No. It's not going to happen. It's not.
Yeah, because Usman would fuck him up.
He would kill him.
It would be murder.
Say the fight was going to happen.
It would be warranted murder. It would be like, okay, just sign your life away.
Right.
You know?
Say the fight was going to happen.
Excuse you.
And on the same pay-per-view, John Jones versus Stipe was going to happen.
Yeah.
What's the main event?
John Jones, obviously.
Wow. I thought you were going to say Usman McGregor for sure. I almost was going to say that too.
It's a heavyweight.
What fight are people going to tune into for more?
Conor McGregor. And then...
So it's the main event.
And then, after you just watched Conor McGregor, Usman... Now you got John Jones coming in the fight heavyweight for the first time.
That's the first time.
Nobody's leaving the TV.
No.
Nobody.
That is... Does
MMA
that break Khabib's and Conor's pay-per-view buy record?
Yeah.
2.4 million buys?
Yeah.
Does that break Pacquiao Mayweather's record?
No.
5.6 mil?
No. Nothing beats that. And that fight gets 7 million... if they fight 5 years earlier.
At least 7 million.
At least. I'd say 7.5, 8, but I didn't want to push it.
Right.
7 mil guaranteed.
No, if that fight did happen 5 years earlier, it would have set the world on fucking fire.
I'd say 7.5 to 8.5 million.
Right. Like, you're pushing 10 million if that fight happens in their primes.
That's
really are.
Crazy. You really are.
And the boxing world lost out on so much money because of it.
Nah, not Floyd.
Oh no, Floyd. He definitely lost out on money because they both made like 100 mil. They probably would have made 300 mil.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what Floyd made for the McGregor fight, right?
Floyd knew that he wasn't going to beat him. That's what Floyd does. That's why
he's smart. He's a great businessman. He's the best businessman boxing has ever had.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, John Jones.
What were we saying?
Steve.
Oh yeah, the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
What would John Jones McGregor get? I'd say
John Jones McGregor.
Yeah, John Jones.
John Jones McGregor.
No, like if they both were on the same card, I'd say like.
If you're gonna do that, fuck it. Just send like.
What's that? 4 mil, 4.5 million.
If you're gonna do that.
That would be Floyd Mayweather McGregor, 4 million. It'd be fucking close, bro. I'd say
4 mil's a lot.
3.5
for UFC. Like
3.
The second highest pay-per-view ever is 1.8 million.
3.5, 3 million.
I would say like 2.5, 2.7. I think it's barely breaking Khabib. Barely.
What it was Khabib?
Khabib Conor was 2.4.
Yeah.
And Cerrone McGregor is the second highest ever, 1.8.
I say 3 mil, 3.2 mil.
If they have both of those fights. And then you throw a fucking Chimaev Colby in the third fight just for shits and giggles. And then just a bunch of chick fights because to fill out the rest of the card. Alright. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I was just fucking... I couldn't stop myself with talking about John Jones. I feel like I have to do it. I feel like I have to do it once a podcast now, just out of respect for his fighting abilities, not him.
So, Jake Paul versus Michael Bisping. Jake Paul is minus 220.
Jake Paul makes me sick.
Jake Paul is minus 220. Michael Bisping. Yo, Michael Bisping might win that fight.
He has one eye.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And he
might one eye.
And he might win that fight.
I don't think he does. I think Jake Paul outboxes Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping's 43. He hasn't fought in like 5 years.
Yeah, he get a big payday.
Yeah, he would get a big payday. Jake Paul's another one of those guys. Like, he's smart. You know, he should... If he cared about actually being a credible, skilled boxer, which I think he does, but not enough to lose a fight and lose out on the money that he would get, which is smart. He would box Anderson Silva. I think that would be a hell of a boxing match. And I think Silva would win, but I also think it would sell a lot of money. I think that would be a huge pay-per-view buy.
Yeah. I think big pay-per-view buy.
All right, that's going to do it. Got anything else?
No, check out the...
Yeah, go follow us on our Twitter.
Yeah, because I want to get 100...
like I said at the beginning, we're going to be launching our own website very soon, hopefully by next week's episode. We have logos, we have promos, we have memorabilia coming over the next couple weeks. Shit's about to pop off, so make sure you stay tuned. Twitter's where you're going to be hearing about most of the stuff. When we do get our website launched, I want to do a giveaway for the first memorabilia stuff we have. And going up from here. We've been talking about all the progress that we're making and how shit's going to pop off. And it's really starting now. Like, shit's really starting now. So, by next week, we'll have more. The week after that, we'll have more than that. And we'll go from there. Check out UFC 274 live reactions when we do it May 7th. I don't know if you're going to Tico's, but I'm going to start doing them here again. I'm going to start actually having the live reactions like we did back in the day. And it's going to be a good time. UFC 274 is going to be fun. It's hopefully not going to have fucking cancellations that have been happening over the last couple weeks. Hopefully those fights are set in stone. So we will see you next week. Episode 92 next week. 2 months away from 100. Still got to figure out what we're doing for that. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. Thank everybody for tuning in. Check out fansonlysports.com and all their many social medias. Go follow our Twitter @complete_MMA and go follow our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast.